Here with us now is former Naval Intelligence Officer Don Bramer. Welcome to the show, Don. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning.
In your experience as a Naval Intelligence Officer, can you talk to me about the chain of command structure during crucial moments like an attack that we saw in September? How closely involved would higher level officials like Secretary Hegseth be in these strikes?
Well, thank you. And I think that's a question a lot of people aren't really considering as we move forward on this. When you have combat or any type of military operation, decisions are made at the nanosecond level. So there's often not enough time to go up those many levels of the chain of command. So that's why you bestow that authority upon those who are on the ground or those who are in the AO. In this case, the order went all the way up to the admiral, who has taken full responsibility. He's the one who gave the order, and that's the way it should happen. There's not time to get the secretary on the phone or anyone else that's higher up in that level.
That makes complete sense. So since September, there have been 22 strikes, 87 people have been killed. What intelligence considerations go into launching a mission or initiative like we're seeing in the Caribbean?
Well, before you have intelligence, you have what we would refer to as information. Information is all of that data that you gather from electronic, from human sources, from a myriad of sources. They're combined, and once they're confirmed, then it becomes intelligence. What you have in these cases is we have, folks on the ground. We have, what they're not talking about. There are other people who have been rescued from these attacks who are still giving critical information. So it comes from a large expanse where information becomes intelligence, and then it's used to identify targets and then eventually fix them.
The Secretary of War says President Trump has the authority to order the use of forces, quote, as he sees fit. I understand that. He is our, commander-in-chief. The administration has been clear that all this is about stopping the flow of drugs into our country. Again, as a former naval officer, what do you make of the way the administration is justifying these strikes?
Well, first, going back to your previous story where you had 7 students overdose, that's a clear example of why drugs is a problem. It has affected nearly every family in this country, mine, myself. It is a huge issue. From day one, when the president was sworn in, he declared this war on drugs. He declared the counter-narco industry as terrorists. This has been a planned mission all the way from day one, and they're moving forward. They're doing the right things. A lot of lawmakers, they don't like the secrecy. They don't like that they're not getting full information. Well, you can't trust a lot of lawmakers with information because they want to put it out to the general public. That puts our soldiers at risk. It puts the mission at risk. What I like is we have flexibility with these missions so that we can identify the target, you can find the target, and then you fix the target.
Two things what you said. I'm glad you mentioned those 7 students in Rhode Island, because we were talking about this in the newsroom, how it's all connected of the drugs coming into our country. And you're right, I too have someone suffering from addiction in our family. I don't think there are many families out there who have not dealt with it personally. How important, with all that said, is transparency here for both the military and lawmakers as we see these operations unfold? Would you be in favor of releasing the full video, as some lawmakers on both sides are calling for?
I think in due time you release these videos. I think there are lawmakers who should have the opportunity to view these videos, but those have to be very select, those with the clearance level to allow them to do this. Releasing it to just the full body of Congress, it puts a lot at risk. We have members out there who often have their own agendas, and that's not policy. That is whatever they can get the next 1,000 likes at. Let's save the troops. Let's identify the drugs, get rid of the problem, and move forward. Let's not make this an exercise in media, but an exercise in saving our youth.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.